Please remain seated. Stay calm.
Tonight I'm going to present you 4 stories, each with a character that by now I think you know and love, or you should. They each have flaws, although I'm not certain they have figured them out yet. Not the ones I'm talking about. Not entirely. Elliot hangs literally in the grips of a woman thought to be at first a ghost. Now I think they may have decided it's something else. An ancient thing, a witch, comes to mind, but it seems to be much more than that as she chokes the life from Elliot's body. Daisy, coming back to face what she considered her nemesis, was sucked into the void itself, into a world of horror, no doubt. But is it from the war? From the creature she saw in the cave? From her own mind? Roy admitted his biggest fear as he challenged the fates at every turn. Now, in the wake of the negative energy of Daisy's nemesis, Roy sits across from a swap dealer who knows everything he wants and everything he has. But tonight, we're going to begin with Eleanor, who may just have the most horrific tale of them all. Eleanor, this is your tale of courage, maybe acceptance. I'm not quite sure because I didn't finish that sentence when I was writing this afternoon. That's how my culty day went. You were getting to the house with Uncle Ray. By the time you get there, it looked kind of close, but it was about dinner time when you arrived. And from your uncle's words, that didn't seem to sound like something that happened very often. When you get inside, Excuse me. I'm laughing at something else, just, because.
You're scaring me, Curtis.
I'm just trying to figure out what this dang blasted machine is doing to me. Let's see here. It's all right. I'm not going to kill anybody yet. Somebody's already died already. Oh, hang on. You're muted. There we go. All right. The ball says, no, feels bad, man. And then, see, the feels bad, man is supposed to be an emoji. That's wrong. I'm on a roll. Excuse me, ladies and gentlemen, while I break character and complain to the audience about everything that's happened backstage. You see, family members are all familiar to most of the ones that you see on a daily at the house. There are some that you don't recognize. There are some that you do, but there are more people there, 3 or 4. One of them you recognize is one of your cousins. There's a woman there. The matron of the house doesn't look like Aunt Mary Ellen, but he keeps calling her that. She looks kind of like Aunt Mary Ellen, except she's a little chubby. Her skin is terrible. Her hair is terrible. If you stare at her long enough, you might see Mary Ellen's eyes underneath. And she is hacking away at some chunks of meat. And you can see the bones and stuff for some of them. It's just pieces. It's not like the whole carcass of a cow or whatever lying on this thing. And a little girl that you recognize is maybe one of your little cousins that you saw like a couple years ago, perhaps on a holiday. You had one cousin that you were close with. This is an impromptu question, so anything that you say is fine. There'll be impromptu questions for everybody tonight. So you had a cousin, your favorite cousin, that you only saw like 4 times a year. 2 holidays, 2 times during the spring and summer when they weren't holidays. So you got 2 winter holidays, 2 random times during the spring and summer. Who might that cousin be? Can you tell us about him? Or her?
Yeah. His name is Daniel. He lives in the city, which is why I don't see him as often as the rest of my family. He lives in the city like a couple hours north. He's really cool, kind of like the black sheep of the Hauser family. Tattoos. He's a rock musician, not famous or anything by any means, but just definitely has local venues that he plays. He's really cool. Probably smokes weed. Haven't asked, but I assume.
But you two are really close.
Yeah.
How often would he normally call you?
I mean, we talk about like, I would say a month, maybe every other month. We don't keep in contact a whole lot, but when we do, it just picks up right where we left off.
What was his name again?
Daniel.
And he was a rock star, huh?
Yeah.
Well, in a band.
Yeah, in a band. A wannabe rock star.
Yeah. I'm a fucking rock star. You remember him, and the reason you remember him is because being in a band, he had this kind of gaudy ring. What was it in the shape of?
Snake.
A snake. Uh-oh, I'm sensing a theme. That snake ring is
so cool.
sitting on the edge of that thick, rough-hewn table. This table looks like it was probably carved from some ancient thick tree 1,000 years ago. It's thick and old. You can't even imagine if it could be lifted. Well worn, you know, it's not flat across the top in every place at all. But sitting right on the edge of it, closest to where the new Mary Ellen is cutting meat and throwing it into this boiling pot. Remembering him, you also realize that it's been a little bit longer this time since you've heard from him on the phone. You know, you usually don't hear from him very long, or, you know, very often, but it's just past that point to where you might have started to worry. Maybe not much. That's why it wasn't on the top of your brain. But now that you're sort of kind of scanning this room and looking at these people and searching in the situation, and you see that ring, that information comes back to you as you glance over to the cutting meat. And I want you to keep it together for me.
Keep it together?
Yeah.
No. An 8. My God.
So, tell me about Eleanor and her. You know, I know you've dealt with the. Well, I couldn't say you've dealt with the shooting of that animal because that's what brought you here. But you've had situations. You've seen some things. Are you a strong stomach or not? You the type to vomit?
I mean, I try to keep a strong stomach. Can definitely feel the urge to vomit. Fighting it back though, because I don't think there would be. I think it would call more attention to myself if I like ran out of the room to vomit. So I'm just not looking so hot. This
particular strain at this moment, Eleanor, is too much for you to handle. I am supposed to choose your reaction, which is why I was trying to get a measure. And being that you're kind of strong, as you stand there staring at this ring, losing your color, watching her cut this up, you realize you think you know what it is they're doing. It's the only thing that makes sense in this absolute moment. You're going to lose two stability, and you're going to suffer some emotional trauma. I want you to do something so that I don't have to. I could make you cower, but I'm kind of curious as to what you think Eleanor would do, because we've never really had the situation where Eleanor's failed the keep it together test. So what do you, I mean, this is like, it's too much for Eleanor. So when things get too much for Eleanor, what does she do? Like, I'll let you not puke.
No, I'm definitely gonna puke. If I think if they're chopping up my cousin, I am going to vomit.
Yeah.
So yeah, definitely start shaking, lose all color from my face. Feel nauseous. I'm gonna move to the nearest trash can probably, and look at the person who I think is Mary Ellen, but doesn't look like her, and look back at the body and just vomit in the trash can.
Uncle Ray, are you all right? What in the world's the matter with you? You have been eating, haven't you?
What are you eating? What is that? What are you? Why is Daniel's ring on the table? Where is he?
Oh my God. And the woman who's cutting the meat stops and looks up. Everybody kind of just freezes and looks at you. Well, you know, we've been through this. If we're going to eat, somebody in the family has got to die. It's just that way. He was sickly anyway. It was his time. He told us to get it done. Now you know this. That's why we ain't eaten, what, 3-4 weeks since, Grandma Pauline back there.
We've been. What do you mean? We've been eating family members?
Oh, good God.
Yeah, definitely am just sticking by the trash can because I feel like the urge to vomit again. I am kind of staring at them in disbelief because I don't want to believe that this is real, but yet I am seeing this. I'm hearing everything, smelling everything. Um, I don't know what reality is anymore
What do
because
you want to do?
I want to get the fuck out of there. Take Daniel's ring and run. Like, what do you? This is not my scene at all. Cannibalism is a hard no.
So you want to grab the ring and run?
Yeah, I think I'll kind of say, oh, I just need some fresh air, and sneak by the table, kind of, yeah, avoiding looking at the body, take the ring, just so I can inspect it and see, like, is this really his ring, and go outside.
Are you making any sort of... Are you trying to keep the fact that you're grabbing this ring from them, or are you just grabbing it in front of them without
I'm
care?
just grabbing it.
Good. Oh, hey, where you going? You taking that? We can trade that, you know.
No, I just want to look at it.
A death in the family, everybody gets a piece of it. You know that.
Yeah. I'm just gonna take it outside and look at it. I'll bring it right back. I just need to step outside for a second.
All right. He never takes his eyes off of you.
Of course he doesn't.
As he follows you, walking out the door. And he doesn't follow you outside, but you are pretty certain that he's peeking at you from somewhere. So what do you do?
Stand there, and I'm just looking at this ring. I know that my Uncle Ray is watching. Like, I can just feel his eyes on me. Like, I know, I've been watched by that family for my entire life, so.
Right.
I know. Looking at this ring, inspecting it, not wanting to believe that they are actually chopping up a cousin, a family member.
That little cousin, the little girl cousin, kind of peeks at you from around the corner of the house outside. Psst. Are you really Eleanor?
I look at her and whisper back, I think I am. Do you think I am?
Right about that time, you can hear a little bit of raised voices back in the house, and she doesn't answer. She stops and she puts her finger to her lips and waits until the arguing seems to die down. And it's not that the arguing dies down, they just hush. It just stops. They're gonna eat you. They know you're not the real Eleanor. You look like her, but you're not her. What'd you do with her? Did you eat her? That's why you're all fat, ain't it?
I don't eat people. I don't know what you're talking about.
I can eat you. They're gonna eat you.
Where can you hide me?
Well, in the storm cellar.
Oh no. Oh god. I don't. Does this cousin look like The cousin I know?
Yeah, she just
Or
looks like a little cousin that you might have seen a couple of times. The Hausers have family that come and go all the time. They have a very large extended family, so it's very large on holidays, typically the winter holidays, but it's not like it's the same ones. Like, at my house, I can count on seeing the same people every time. At the Hausers, there's a few that are always the same, but there's always new people from some far off branch, and that's just kind of the way it is. So you're used to seeing a whole bunch of different people, and it's how close you are just really determines the frequency, right? So you might see someone 4 times a year, you might see someone once a month, or and then there's some of them that live practically right there on the compound. There's always like a couple of RVs that are there, with some family members that are passing through or visiting.
I do not trust her. No. I know the storm cellar, like there's only one entrance, one exit. No, thank you.
Yeah, I think this one was named Libby, was her name, or something like that, or maybe that was her nickname. But yeah, she's like trying to tug on your shirt a little bit and pull you back around the corner, and you can hear a little bit of fussing in the house, not with each other, but like some walking, getting into stuff, kind of movement activity.
But I couldn't hear what they were fighting about earlier.
No. Okay. It happened fast.
No. Can Uncle Ray see me if I turn the corner?
Right now, you're just kind of tucked right around the corner. So, if he came out and looked outside, he might, he might see your butt sticking out on this one side if you, step in a little bit, but that would be it. And it's shadowed over there as the evening, the sun sets.
Oh, man. Do I still have... I was carrying a rifle earlier. Do I still have that? I don't think. I probably put it down in the house. Once we got in.
I don't remember that detail.
I don't. It's okay. I'm just trying to think, like... I feel like if I run... Yeah, this is exactly what Owen was thinking. If I run, this little girl is going to alert the family, and then I'm going to have a bunch of family members running after me, potentially.
Let me ask you this then. Is the rifle the tool that you need?
I would feel safer with it, but it's not necessarily needed.
Yeah. As this little girl is sort of like tugging you and, giving you a few minutes to think, you get maybe 6 or 7 feet away from the edge, kind of going down the outside edge or the wall of the house on this one side. And it's the back of the house is not too far away. And that's obviously where the cellar that she's leading you to is. But she runs and grabs your rifle and brings it to you as if she had it tucked back behind the back of the house, ready to hide you and your rifle.
Okay. All right.
What do you do?
I ask her, when are they planning to eat me?
When?
Yes.
Oh, they're going to start on it tonight. Actually, what she said, Eleanor, was, we're going to start on it tonight.
I definitely catch that. Definitely hold this gun tighter. Oh man, it's even loaded. I don't even want...
You can hear the front door open. Uncle Ray steps out onto the wood steps. Libby girl, where you at?
Man, can I... Oh.
What do you want to do? What does Eleanor want to do?
I want to...
Or what do you think she would do? What kind of girl is she?
Someone who runs. And runs fast. My instinct is to, since my cousin said we're gonna get started on it tonight, I know this is a trap. This is immediately a trap. So I'm going to take this gun and just, I'm gonna try to knock her out with it.
Okay, make
in the head with
me
the butt of the gun.
a violence roll.
Is that my worst trait? Absolutely, it is.
For Eleanor, probably.
Ah, it's a 3. Yes. Mm-hmm.
To engage in combat, a 3.
Goddamn.
She just like saw it coming, like matrixed your ass right there. Almost unnaturally.
Almost too good.
Yeah, it was too
Run.
good.
Yeah.
That was the only good thing about it. When she does that, her eyes get wide, and she just lets out this shrieking, shrill scream, and just starts like raising her hand and kind of pointing it at you, like
Nope.
like screaming like that. And of course, you can hear Ray moving this way. You're gonna run.
Yeah, I'm gonna run.
Give me an act under pressure roll.
Oh no. I am kind of cool.
Where are you hoping to run to?
11. The forest. That's by my house. I explore so much.
11. You can see this, where she was leading you, there was an outhouse. There was what they had, like a dry storage kind of thing. So there were still a few of these little buildings and stuff out back here. It's not just a clean shot. As you run down the back of the house, because you're now back behind the house from, this way, you've kind of made a horseshoe shape from where you started around the house. That fat Mary Ellen 2 jumps out from in front of, the other side of the house. She come around this side to ambush your ass. And she's got that great big meat cutting knife that she had been using on your poor cousin Daniel, still dripping with his juices, raised high as she steps forward and roll to avoid harm.
Okay.
That's reflexes.
17.
Hey, that's good.
Yay.
She swings and misses. What do you do? She too starts kind of screeching.
Also, I don't know. If I'm running directly past her, can I also try to like whack her with my gun?
Yeah.
I don't want. Man, part of me wants to shoot them, but I feel like I have to sit, like, be stationary to aim and shoot.
Do whatever Eleanor's gonna do.
Should I roll violence?
Mm-hmm.
I'm to roll violence. A 1. Doing great, killing it.
Yeah, that doesn't go quite as you planned. You swing with it, and you see her come at you with the hilt of that knife that she had, like the, what do they call that? The pommel or something? I'm not I'm not going to be on Forged in Fire tomorrow or anything, so I don't know those things. And hits you in the forehead. I want you to endure injury for me. It's a roll plus fortitude minus 2 harm, as she wallops you pretty good in response to your 1.
Endure injury? Is that what you said?
Yes. Yeah.
14.
And was that with the extra minus 2 or the harm?
No,
that's all right. It doesn't change it much anyways. Still above a 9, but not a 15.
Mm-hmm.
So with that, you receive a serious wound, as you can feel a little bit of blood trickle down between the bridge of your nose, kind of runs into your eyeball a little bit and burns down your cheek. And she's kind of stops doing that screeching thing as you see her eyes kind of flash real quick to something that's behind you.
No.
What are your reflexes? Did you give Eleanor good reflexes?
Yes, I did. I gave her, 2. That's the highest.
That's pretty good. All right, then I'll go ahead, since I gave away the ambush, I'll let you roll for it.
Okay. 20.
20. Nice. What do you do?
I noticed that she looks behind me and immediately, man, I don't know, can I be cool and duck down and like...
It's a 20. Do anything you want.
Yeah, definitely duck, because I feel like someone's going to come up and grab me, and just use my gun to push behind, just to give me kind of a head start, because then I'm just going to take off running.
Right. You can see that it was Uncle Ray was kind of creeping up behind you, and he's got like this, I don't know, it looks like a club, kind of like a baseball bat, but it's rough, not smooth, carved like a baseball bat, just sort of in that same shape. And you said you went at him with your gun, like to hit him? Mm-hmm. Go ahead and make a violence roll.
7.
A 7?
Mm-hmm.
Like, see, I swear.
Do I die today? Maybe.
Oh, I don't know. Maybe if I can't get roll 20 to, it's like everything I wanted to do, it's doing the opposite. It just like suddenly flipped its settings on me. I hate you. Roll 20. Violence, and you rolled a 7. Yeah, your attack does not go as anticipated. A little bit of bad luck. You get him. Where were you hoping to hit him at?
Anywhere.
What's your favorite spot? You can be illustrative in this game. I give you guys. You can be as colorful as you want.
Honestly, I would definitely aim for the stomach or his dick, just to like something that will cause him pain and double over.
You missed his stomach, but you hit his dick, and you hear him go down like that, and you just this little bit of satisfaction in your mind as you think you may have found your out, and that's when you feel a stinging pain in the back of your head, and you see some of those little flashy kind of white points of light, we call them stars, start to pop in front of your eyes, and you start to feel like you're gonna puke, and then your world goes black.
Of course.
When you come to, you don't know how long it's been. The room is dark. You can't see the walls. It looks like you're lying on that table, but the room's not lit up. You're clothed. You're alive. Your head hurts. And you hear your granny walk up next to you. You smelled her first. You know her scent, right? You hear the footsteps, and she sort of steps out of the darkness and is looking down on you at this table with this sort of stern look that you've only seen her give the men that she told things to do. And she says, "You're going to have to be much stronger than that, girl, if you're going to take my place."
What? Very dazed. Confused about where I am, when I am.
What do you think she means when she says that?
I don't know. I don't know, like take the place as the head of the family is my immediate thought. I oh man, I don't. I ask her what she means by that.
Roll plus reflexes.
No.
As you see her cane hand come up in a flash, and she's bringing that cane straight down towards your noggin.
12.
A 12. You get the worst of it, but she clips you right on the top as you duck your head out of the way, and you know she was not pulling her punch. It smacks the table. Don't ask foolish questions. You knew an education was coming. And if you didn't, then you've spent too much time enjoying this beautiful world and not thinking about eternity and heaven and God. Lollygagging like a little girl. It's time you grew up. The cane's coming back around. What are you going to do?
Duck, avoid, get out of the way.
Give me another roll. I'll give you a +1 on this one.
Oh, thank you. So kind.
I've been pretty nice.
Oh my god.
Oh.
A 6.
Yeah. This time you go black, and it stays that way. So let me ask Eleanor, unconscious Eleanor. What do you think? Do you think she was meant for you to take over the family? Do you think that's what she was talking about?
Yes, yeah, that's the only thing I can think of. Although I don't know exactly what she means about not thinking about God and heaven and hell. I mean, I honestly, Eleanor is not religious. I'm not religious, so.
All right. Why don't you, before we get out of here, roll see through the illusion. Roll plus soul.
7.
You will eventually wake up, and the pain is excruciating. Granny was not nice when she hit you with her cane, like you've seen her take a swing at a dog before. She obviously hit you square on the head because you can feel it there. You've taken a couple of licks. This time when you come to, however, you're not lying on the table. You're lying on, it seems to be a floor, hard packed, possibly stone. I'm not going to give you enough time to investigate tonight. I'm just going to let you know that you're lying there, and you feel the cold of your nakedness as a group of people, hooded, are slowly closing a circle around you. You can kind of see up into a couple of the hoods. They're pretty big, those big, large cowls. The faces that you see are female. One of them you recognize as a family member that you might have seen a couple of years ago on a visit. And they all have sort of this disappointed look on their face. But your head swirls and you pass out again. That's where we're going to leave Eleanor. If you say hard no, just as a point of clarity for anybody who's watching, because of the cannibalism, and you verbalized a hard no. That's a hard no to me.
I mean, yeah, no, I mean, I just I am fine with cannibalism. Like
Okay, you're
describing
good.
cannibalism. Yeah, that's good.
I didn't make a deal out of it then, just because, you know, I didn't want to break it, and I would have only used it for gratuitous grossness from then on, anyhow. But so yeah, I didn't ask. I just moved on.
Yeah,
so
no, you're fine.
word to everybody. Yeah, that would be a.
Yeah,
Eleanor.
at least for Eleanor, cannibalism is a hard no. Me, I'm fine.
Gotcha. Okay. All right. Good. Just wanted to make sure. I didn't remember that being on a list, but I don't remember what I ate for breakfast. So, awesome. All right. Well, then, I had these really cool transition things, but I'm going to see if this Roy scene works and deal with him. So, thank you. Oh, there he is. I can still kind of see my shadow around the edge, but I'm not going to pick it apart today. I'm going to keep going while I'm a winner. Roy. When we left you, as I understood it, you wanted more than anything. And I put anything in italics. So more than anything, to not get stuck in this current patrol in this derelict town and the surrounding nothingness occupied by, I don't think these were your words, these were mine, rubes and fools. There are no real criminals here, you know. Just thieves and drug dealers, and, you know, there's not like no mob or anybody of respectable sort of criminality. No bank robbers. Have you told us why you got this assignment that you hate so much?
No. I was transferred after an incident at my old posting.
Why did they transfer you?
It was one of those ones that the public don't exactly turn a blind eye to.
I can think of several of those. Was it violence?
Violence was involved.
Was it on someone of import or importance?
In the grand scheme of things, everyone is important, sir.
The swap dealer just sort of sits there, stares at you, kind of gives you this, you know, one eye open, one eye really squinty. And you can almost feel him peering into you for a moment. I want you to roll Keep It Together for me. As this sensation washes over you, you realize he is looking at you, not only with his eyes, but you can almost feel fingers and hands touching you, and like a frisk, but like a frisk that, say, a really sleazy cop might do to a woman that he thought he could get away with it. Feeling places he probably shouldn't feel. And then everywhere else, pockets, there's nowhere that they don't touch you, and at once. So, 9.
Yep.
He is I'm trying to think of the best way to describe this. This would be the gory equivalent of a Star Trek ship-to-ship scan. He has just scanned you in some fashion, except it was some sort of, invisible hands and fingers or tongues, or who knows. They were just lots of little probes that went from your head to your toes in a rather, 15, 20 seconds, in this wave of nausea as you can kind of feel them looking inside of you as if they were taking an inventory of your organs and your thoughts. And we're going to take 2 stability. And your first instinct is to go for your gun. Which you do. But something happens, and as you come up with the gun, you're hit. Something invisible knocks it out of your hand and flies over to the side there into some rubbish, a couple of old McDonald's bags. This invisible force comes back at you. This is your punishment for the 9, because I haven't quite got familiar with you guys enough in really difficult situations to know exactly how Roy would react to a really stressful situation which you just received, other than just fucking shoot him. So I may have to go a little bit more, but it does come back and sort of thump you in the face. So give me an endure injury. And yeah, and maybe he was just playing with you, teaching you a lesson, letting you know he's got the upper hand. I don't know, but you can, your gun gets knocked, and then almost right after you take this sort of thump by, it feels like a gust of air, except it hurt, and you got a little bit of, maybe a little blood kind of just leaking a little. What do you do?
I look over to where my gun has disappeared into a refuse pile. I'm probably visibly shaking. I've never been, I don't know, psychically and physically violated like that before, so that's...
What do you care about, boy?
What? Who the... How did the... What the... What?
I got no sense of care in you, except for cats. The cat's the only thing you care about. Living, I mean, souls that you care about.
I suppose I love my mama. What the fuck's the point of that?
Is she still alive?
She passed a couple years back.
That's why I can't feel that. I'm talking about living souls that you care about.
What does it matter to you, you fucking weirdo?
All right, I guess you're not wanting to deal then. That's all right. I thought you wanted out of this place. Or, better yet, to not get stuck here forever, I think was the word.
Well, no,
You know, if you want something bad enough and you're in the right place at the right time, well, that's how you end up in my trash pile. Unless some old bitch down the road calls you about some whiny ass cat, of course. That's the second way.
So what? You're gonna get me out of this shithole town? Is that what you're trying to tell me? You fucking...
Are you dumb?
Ass weirdo.
Are you thick in the head? Did you finish all your grades of school?
Yeah,
I tell you,
I graduated.
I don't see an ounce of care about a soul in your body at all. So,
What fucking difference does that make?
because I know you got something. There ain't very many people who can hide things from me. And if you got it, that means you got it hidden deep, deep, deep down inside you. And I want to know who it is. I'm just curious. If you tell me who it is, I'll tell you what I mean about not staying here forever. How's that? That's a good swap, ain't it?
Listen, I became a police officer because I wanted to protect everybody. I don't have any.
Yeah, I know what you mean when you say protect, Roy. I'm talking about care. Like, oh, I don't know whether you love them. You don't want them to die. Is there anybody you don't want to die, Roy?
Plenty of people.
How about somebody that you might just die yourself for? Any of those?
That's my job. So yeah, of course.
How about someone that you would do it for just on a whim, not as a matter of duty? Yeah, I said duty, little kitty kitty.
Well, no one in particular comes to mind.
That's a real shame. I tell you what, I'm gonna be here. I'm always here. I don't go nowhere. I'm gonna let you go. I want you to spend a little time in my world, in your world, and get a good look at what your future entails. And then I want you to find someone to care about. And let me know. And then we'll trade.
Why do you care so much?
Oh, I don't care, Roy. I don't give one shit. You care about that. That's how it all worked. That's how you got here. You may not realize it yet, but when you looked out that window at Daisy's house and that negative energy was there, because I know, I see it all in you. You were wanting something, not to die there, I think. Not to die in this godforsaken hole. So, I got a way out. It ain't easy. It's never easy. But perhaps you should, experience some of it for yourself first. Give you some perspective. You can hear the front door kind of just swing open. And you can see outside. You've walked in and out of the house, and it looks relatively normal for the most part, except kind of gray, maybe. But kind of a weird gray. What do you do?
Look him up and down again. And shake my head and just go right back out that front door.
Right. When you go outside the front door, you immediately notice that while it looks the same, it is not the same. Across the street, the houses are burnt down, except just down the block where the house with the woman with the cat who had called you, her house is still standing. Other houses are still standing. I'm just talking about on this particular block. Those two houses seem to have burnt down. You don't remember when that happened. And on those two houses, you can see a cat nailed to the door, to the edge of the door, the frame, inside of the frame. Hanging there. Not the houses aren't completely burned down. They're like burnt out, shells of houses is what I meant to say. There are other houses seem fine. You can see one guy down the road pushing a lawnmower, except it's not a motored one. It's one of those spinny kind, across. There's a guy in the empty lot across from that house. He seems to be digging a grave, as the hole seems to be that shape. And it's the first thing that comes to mind. And then it's slightly confirmed by what looks to be a body wrapped in a blanket lying next to it. He's just wearing ratty jeans and a wife beater, stained. There's not a cloud in the sky, but it's not blue. It's not really white. It's just kind of dirty. What do you do?
Instinctively, I reach down to pull my sidearm and go investigate the fellow with the dead body, and then I remember that it's not in its holster anymore. So I look back at the dealer's house, and I shake my head again. Nope. And I go and approach the person that's digging the grave.
He's, it's a walk down a football field probably to get to him. And as you get about halfway there, you can hear him kind of sobbing and moaning and, crying as he's digging this thing. Obviously from the heart, because he's blubbering a good bunch. An embarrassing sort of spectacle that you only save for yourself or, very close family members. And as you get louder, of course, it gets louder as you come closer to him. How do you approach?
I'm going to sort of stand a couple feet back and, crane my neck over and look down into the hole, clear my throat. Begging your pardon.
Make a perception roll. Observe a situation. As you walk up and you look down the hole, his blubbering stops as he recognizes your presence. You look, and as you're coming up and asking him that question, you see that he's got maybe a kitchen knife or something stuck in his pants. It's just a shoddy wood handle kind of sticking out. Who are you?
What do you mean, who am I? I'm the law around here.
What are you talking about? There ain't no law here.
Well, and he taps the badge on his chest. Well, there certainly appears to be.
What are your reflexes, Officer or Deputy Applebaum?
It's a straight 0.
Make me an avoid harm. He makes a move. He doesn't go for the knife, but he flings that shovel, comes swinging around at you.
Oh, I think that just hit me square in the face then.
Oh.
Because that's a 3.
Oh, Roy. Okay, Roy. You are going to get hit with a shovel. Make a endure injury roll with fortitude minus 1 harm. So it's the roll minus 1. You still get to add your fortitude.
Let's see. I think I did that right. Yep, that is a 7.
A 7.
That is real not great.
Well, it's not. Could. Well, I mean, it's worse if you pick worse, I suppose. This is your choice.
I'm probably not gonna pick the die option.
Right. I didn't think you would. Yeah. Do you want to get knocked out?
I mean, I don't want to get knocked
Or
out. But
you
yeah,
want to,
that's the one I'm picking.
You're gonna pick the knockout?
Yeah.
Nice.
Not having access to anyone that could heal me probably means I probably shouldn't pick the critical wound.
So you are out. You can, as you're having that, you realize, oh shit, is like kind of probably one of the last things I would imagine might go through Roy's mind as you recognize the fact that this shovel is going to bean you, and it's just right out like a movie. The shovel right at the camera lens. Pong. Blackout.
Oh, fuck.
Yeah. And he's got you. When you wake up, you can hear the laughter and the chuckle of the swap dealer. You recognize that you're in his chair again, sitting across from him. Your head hurts. There's blood down the front of your face. You can feel like probably your eye, above your eye, is swollen because it's kind of hard to open one eye all the way. Well, you got a taste of it pretty quick, didn't you?
What the fuck was that?
That's Providence, Deputy Applebaum. That's what Providence looks like if you ain't careful. If you hang around too many of the wrong people, all those things you like to fight against. That's why you want to get out of here, right? Rubes and idiots. Cat eaters. Well, you should find out who's been killing those cats over across the street. Think it's that old lady down there? Them were fine cats.
I feel like I might have more pressing concerns than to investigate the disappearance of cats.
Oh, you got that right. You do. You got things after you. Have you ever killed anybody?
Plenty of folk.
Why don't you tell me about the worst one? The one you don't want to tell me about.
Why?
Well, let's say the swap dealer gets his enjoyment from more things than just tangible goodies. I like all them little creepy crawlies you got bugging around inside of you. Hates and horrors and fears and regrets and all that kind of stuff, I want to hear about it and make my price better. Call it a coupon.
Now, that's not a story that I share with just anyone, so what are you going to give me for it?
I'm going to give you a little bit of this. I want you to what was I doing the other day for mental attacks? It was like willpower or something. Roll me willpower. Do you have willpower, Roy?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, you can see he kind of frets just a little bit, and then you feel this stinging sensation kind of right here in the side of your head where they might go in for a lobotomy. Like he just tried to drill at you with something invisible. And he kind of, you're gonna let me in there one way or the other.
What the fuck are you doing, you weirdo?
Tell me about that kill.
So you can do some kind of fucking weird hoodoo shit to my brain again? No, no thank you.
Oh, well, that's what's gonna happen if you don't tell me. Maybe I ought to go get Shovel Boy again.
Oh, Jesus.
Come in here and
Christ.
flatten your nose.
I don't think I need another one of them. So, if I don't tell you, you're gonna do some kind of weird brain drill psychic attacky thing to my head. And if I do tell you, again, what do I get out of this? I don't tell this story. This is the story that I don't tell.
His face just kind of scrunches up and he leans forward and starts just kind of in a loud, almost yell, and there's like spit flying out of his mouth when he does this. And he's like, "You'd better tell me about this kill, or this ain't gonna be the worst of your ends. Something's chasing you, and if I'm gonna help you, and I can, I gotta find out what this is inside of you, and it comes from the worst one. The one that you don't want to tell. Does it look like I'm gonna tell anybody out here? Who am I gonna call? You? To tell you about you?"
That does seem a little redundant.
Give it to me.
So there was one. I don't even remember. Because I've told this story before. A little black kid. I shot him. He was running away. Thought he had a gun. He didn't. That one tore me up a little bit. But the one that really got me. Well. I was off duty. And I'd been at a local watering hole for a couple hours. Of course, I still have my sidearm. I'm always armed, even when I'm off duty. I was walking out the back, stopped in an alley to take a piss. There was this girl, couldn't have been much more than 18, 19, maybe 20. She was definitely too young to be in that bar, which I think is why she was hanging out the back. She was out there with a younger fella. I assumed it was her boyfriend or something. They were taking nips out of a little pint of something. I'm guessing since she couldn't get inside, they were taking nips of it, making out a little bit. I'm parked behind a dumpster taking a piss, and the fucking little punk kid starts yelling at me. And I turn around. "What the fuck do you want?" And he starts, just ribbing into me. I don't think he saw my sidearm. So I was a little bit too far gone for the night. I got a little rough with the kid. Well, a little too rough. His face, well, it wasn't really there anymore after that. The girl, though, she starts screaming. A couple of folks poke their heads out the back of the bar right as I shot her.
Then what'd you do?
I called my sergeant. He came out. He was off duty too. He helped me clean it up. We had to ensure the silence of a fair number of patrons.
You cleaned it up all right, didn't you? Don't it feel good thinking about it? Seeing their faces? Where'd the bullets go in? Did the old woman scream a little?
Yeah, there's plenty of screaming, plenty of blood. All of it unnecessary.
Oh, no. Somebody put them there for you. It's always on purpose. They were there for a reason, and you just snuffed them out. I love it. I'll help you, Roy, but you're going to have to do something for me.
You're a fucked up individual, you know that?
I've been called worse.
Well, I told you your fucking story. What else do you want?
Yeah, now that I know your story, I think I might be able to find out. Oh, the darkness that's after you. You want to know about that? Or you just want to know that it's there? It's there. I'll give you that for free. If you want to know what it is, that's going to cost you something. And if you want me to do something about it, which I can, that'll cost you something. And if you just want to get the fuck out, that'll cost you something too. But it's the most expensive. Or we can walk through all three of them. It's up to you, Roy. It just depends on how much, willpower you got. I don't need money. I need things.
What kind of things?
Well, I don't know. I mean, I know what you're capable of, and you know what I've got available, so you wanting all three, one of them? What do you think, Roy? You want to know what's chasing you? What's that?
I say, why stop there? Give me the whole package then, I suppose.
Well, I'm in the trade and retrade business. I got deals going on all over the world. And here's what I need you to do for me right now, because there's somebody else who needs something for somebody, and on down the line it goes. You remember that blackness that you saw? You know, the one that brought you here? That thing chasing you around that old witch's house? I need you to go back there, and you're going to have to keep an eye on that old woman. Don't you dare kill her like them other motherfuckers want you to do. And they're going to make it awful tempting for you. She'll probably make it awful tempting for you, too.
I need you to get something from her. Can you do that for me? If you get something from her, you get close to her, you get something from her, and I'll take care of your problem, let you know what it is, and get you the hell out of here at the right time.
That's a big caveat right there. At the right time.
Mm-hmm. That's where we gotta have a little faith in each other, don't we, Roy? Now, you could go out there and just tell everybody about old Pinkerton down here, sitting here in my chair with my kitty cats. And the next thing you know, you and your sergeant buddy show up and... What was it you did? Oh, I'll just let you think on it for a minute.
What is it you need from Daisy then?
So we're in agreement so far.
So
Because I don't want to give you the goods if you're not going to go through with it. I'll have to have somebody else take care of it for me.
Where are you going to tell me, or do I just have to go grab something out of her house and say, here you go?
No. I need her heart.
Thought you said you didn't want me to kill her.
Oh. I don't know if that'll kill her or not. I'm just saying you don't have to murder her out of cold blood. Get it any way you want. There's lots of ways to get a heart out of a person, Roy. I don't have to explain that to you.
Most of them tend to end with the expiration of the person.
I know, but it's because you haven't opened your fucking mind yet. You might have to, I don't know, open up an Encyclopedia Britannica or something. You'll find a way. Just get it. If I see you working on it, I'll probably find some help for you. I know she's a tough old bitch, but we'll get her, right? And I won't do her no harm. I just want the heart. Just bring her to me. I'll take care of the rest. Will that be easy for you, Roy?
You want me to bring Daisy here to this shitty house with all your cats and the cat piss smell, and I'm sure she'll feel right at home.
Mm-hmm. Listen, Inspector Clouseau, if you got a witty plan, I'm all about hearing it.
Well, first I suppose we got to not die. So how do I get back?
Well, I don't know. I bet you'll figure it out, though.
You're a whole lot of fucking help, you know that?
Well, if you can't find out how to do it, just bring her to me and I'll take care of it.
Great.
I know you want it. I know how bad you want out of here, Roy. I know your heart. And now I need to know hers.
I'll see what I can do then.
Boom. That's where we're going to go to break. Thank you, Roy.
I didn't quite know what was coming for me. I knew it was going to be some kind of reckoning, and whatever I saw in the cave, it's... a lot of it is indescribable. Just like whatever the fuck's happening right now.
Had you seen it before you went in the cave?
Sometimes in the desert, but it was never this close.
So it's been...
I always thought it was that particular desert madness when you go too long without water or seeing your loved ones.
But you've decided it's something else.
More or less. It is.
Which is... what exactly? I know I've asked you before. I'll keep asking you.
Keep asking.
There might be somebody who doesn't remember or doesn't know. And I like hearing it. It scratches my cult itches.
It does. Spirits, ghosts,
Mm-hmm.
out for revenge, some kind of... Whatever I found in that cave, I think I unlocked a sort of hell. And this thing came out, and it shouldn't have.
How many people did you kill in the war? Roughly, if you don't know an exact number.
That's another thing I kind of blocked out, but I know it was a handful. Sometimes someone who was innocent because they got in the way, or the enemy, or things that looked like people but didn't quite act like them. So it depends on your definition of people. But it was more than I wish to admit.
Did you ever go to therapy after the war?
Fuck no, I'm not going to have some quack doctor tell me how I feel.
Who did you talk to?
Sabella. She doesn't know. She doesn't know all of it. I keep it to myself. It's... Who would believe me?
You hear Sabella's voice say, I would believe you. And you're sitting in that psychiatrist's office in your head that you imagine every time you imagine that you don't want to go to a psychiatrist's office. That's the one you're sitting in. You remember getting pulled into the smoke, the void, the black. But now you're in this office, and it is Sabella that sits in the therapist chair in some woman's suit with a blouse and a jacket. Her hair is done up in some city folk do that she would not wear it in. She's got way too much makeup on that's not her style, but it's definitely her. And she's looking at you with caring eyes, pin poised. How many? Tell me about them.
Three innocent. 20-something soldiers. A couple of creatures. I don't know. Looked like human, growled like beasts. But you know what they say? It's the special type of desert madness. I don't.
That doesn't seem like very many people for a war.
Well, you know, I didn't have a high station. We mostly had to get stuff delivered across the desert. That's why we were traveling so much.
Is that why you counted them all?
That's just who I shot. Who knows? Explosions, a few fights now and then that I sometimes in a war, especially, you go into this state of mind that you can't quite explain, where you're not really there. You're not particularly anywhere. You feel your body and you feel the heat and you feel the sand in between your toes getting in your boots.
Daisy, would I be wearing this fucking suit if I didn't have the brain to be one of those people who could explain it?
What I'm trying to say is sometimes you kind of black out, and next thing you know, you come back to and you got blood on your hands and a body down there, and you're not quite sure if you did it. I say 20 confirmed kills, but whoever else happened when those moments came. It's an estimate.
So let's back up for just a second, because you said something that's very interesting to me. Did you get some lemonade?
What?
You said that sometimes you blacked out and would wake up with blood all over your hands.
It wasn't uncommon. What? Sabella, where are we exactly?
What do you mean it wasn't uncommon? Tell me about that. Oh, wait, before you
What
do
you
that,
mean?
the monsters, the creatures, let's get them checked off the list real quick. You said you couldn't describe them, but you saw them.
Right, yeah.
Okay, that's fine. What I need you to do is just close your eyes, and she closes her eyes, and think about them for a moment.
I look at her skeptically and kind of grip the sides of where I'm laying. But it's Sabella, so I close my eyes, but I look kind of angry while I do it.
Can you picture them in your mind's eye? You don't have to describe them. You can just...
It's always been kind of foggy, but lately, with everything going on, I've been thinking about this more, and yeah, there's a few I can picture.
When you see them, you hear her go, "Oh, yes, I see them now. Interesting."
What's the purpose of this? I've still got my eyes closed, but I kind of twitch a little bit.
Oh, well, it's enjoyable for me, and you're a murderer, right? Isn't that why you feel this terrible, heart-wrenching guilt as it drove you around the world? Tell me, how much personal damage did it do to you? What have you sacrificed of your life?
Personal damage. I open my eyes and my eye, and I sit up further in my chair. Personal damage.
Yeah, you've been running from me all this time, apparently, so I'm curious as to, what you've sacrificed along the way since you've felt stalked.
Well, I think I sacrificed most things when I went off to the war. You know what? Someone recently asked me what I regret, and I think my biggest regret was leaving Providence, which is rather funny because these people get in these small towns and their biggest regret is never leaving them, or coming back when you get set back. But normalcy, is that what you want to hear? I'm
No.
I normalcy.
I want to hear about... Oh, I don't know. Did you lose a man? Did your daughter leave you? Did your mom leave you? How long has it been since you've seen anybody hiding out there in that small town?
You seem to know an awful lot right there.
Daisy, it's me.
I don't understand why you're asking me these questions if you already know. Yeah, I had to give up my daughter. I lost. I lost.
Tell me about giving her up. What was that like?
What was that like? When did you? When I can't exactly be a motherly figure, Some people joke and they say I'm close to that with you. What the fuck ever, I suppose. But her father won custody. Apparently I wasn't really fit for parenting, having a bit of an alcohol problem, and so then I went to the war. She had a daughter of her own, my granddaughter, came back. I can't settle down. That's the thing. I
Oh.
have this reckoning, these ghosts that they're coming after me. I can't go and be a grandmother and give them Christmas presents on the holidays and bake them cookies and shit like that. That's
So
something I can't do. They'll kill
this
her.
darkness has been following you since even before the war.
You know most of this. I've already told you all this. What? You know, normally I don't like that cloth clothing right now, but I think this get up right now is worse. Sabella, what what are we doing here?
Make me a roll plus soul. And if you want, you can roll investigate or observe a situation and ask a question to find out more information.
I got 12 on soul and 14 on observe a situation. Um, what is being hidden from me?
Well, let me ask you this before I answer that, because you may already know some things, and I don't want to give you information that you already have. So, sitting here in this office, how much of it do you think is real?
That's a very hard question.
Okay. Well, I mean, that's what I'm getting.
I wouldn't be in an office at all, and if I remember getting swallowed up with a monster, I'm obviously a little. I
Right.
think I'm slowly starting to realize this
That
isn't-
something's not right. Yes.
Yeah. Like at
When
first, I was like, "Oh yeah, I'm at a psychologist's office. It's Sabella," but then that's sinking in more and more.
right in this moment, it's kind of like when you have a lucid dream, and it's that moment when you realize that you're in a dream. Like you've been playing along up to that point, like almost even getting emotionally involved, right? And then at some point you go, wait a second, right? That good part of your brain kicks in and you realize that something isn't quite right. And then when you look at her and Sabella and in her eyes, you just see this like a little flash of red through the pupils, right? Sort of like this little gleam, a little smile goes with it as it, whatever, also has a little recognition in that very same moment as you. Oh.
Do I have my handgun with me? It's usually holstered at my hip.
Yeah, reach down and feel for it. Why don't you?
I definitely do. I start to get suspicious that this might not be what I think it is, and she's asking so many questions, and Sabella never dresses like this. And as soon as I see that flash, I'm reaching down to pull it out and point it at her, if I have it.
Roll act under pressure.
Okay. Good thing I'm +2 cool. 11.
Yeah, you are fast. You is Daisy known for quick draw? It's like,
Yeah.
Does she get into that
Good
kind
old
of thing?
Western standoff.
Yeah, nice, beautiful. Flash out you go with your gun, and in that very same moment, Sabella, whatever this is in your face. When you come up with the gun, she just kind of goes with the back of her hand, and it just flies. You never hear it hit a wall, a floor, anything. It just goes away. The red
I stand my ground.
comes and stays. Tell me about your biggest regret. The one that you haven't said yet. From before the war.
I'm like standing my ground and I don't even look to see where the pistol went. I'm just staring directly back at her, like grinding my teeth a little bit. I wasn't here for her parents. But you already know that because you were one of the fuckers who took them out, weren't you? Set the place ablaze, killed him, scarred a child for life. That was a good family. That was a family that didn't deserve that. And yeah, I was gone. I was knee deep in a barrel of whiskey.
Really? Who do you hate in this world?
Well, you're not doing so good. Whoever you are.
Roll to avoid harm. Plus reflexes.
I'm so average today. 12.
Welcome to my world.
Uh-huh.
It's not so bad. Being average, that is. 12, that's pretty bad. Well, it's not as bad as a 9. This Sabella has taken a swing at you. You realize she's coming around with her pin in a stabbing motion as if to sink it into your skull. You miss, but she kind of grazes the back of your head and you can feel it scratch and dig in a little, but you know, it's just superficial. What do you do?
I quickly move my head out of the way, and since we're laying on like one of those therapy beds, I want to grab her by the shoulder and try to reverse us and slam her into it and like get on her, like straddle her, struggle.
Right.
Because I'm gonna punch her in the face.
When you do that, go ahead and make me a violence roll.
Okay.
For the punch. The 9.
I have a +3 as well.
You get on top of her. You have her on the floor. And you're straddling her. And you're wanting to punch her in the face. Is that what you were wanting to do?
Yep.
Again and again and again? You're just like knocking her out?
Yeah.
I'm
gonna punch her a few times to knock her out. And if that doesn't really seem to do much, I'm gonna wrap my fingers around her throat and press my thumb.
You start smashing on her face, and it's after the second or third hit, she starts laughing at you and spitting blood. A tooth missing after 4 or 5 punches. The nose is broken. How old? She asks through the spit and the blood, kind of then this gurgling, her lips are swelling. How old was your daughter when you left? And you hear behind you, Mommy? In the age of, or the voice of the age of however old she was. How old was she?
Ooh, that's an excellent question that I haven't nailed down the approximate age, but enough to remember. Probably
3, 4-ish.
More like 9, 10.
Okay. Well, you know, you've had a few whiskeys then, so 9 or 10. You're close. How close were you with her father? Was he there?
We were fairly close. Yeah, he tried his best. He was very mild-mannered man. Very not what I'm used to. Kind of. My folks wanted me to get married, and he was nice, and he was there. And
you hear your daughter's voice from behind you. Why are you hitting Daddy? And when you look down,
oh no.
That's who's between your legs. What do you do?
I stop. I raise my fist to smash it onto their nose again, but I stop, and I've got like the collar of his shirt in my other hand balled up, and I just stare at him. I haven't seen him for 30 years, maybe even longer than that, depending on how long anything is. I've lost track of time, but it's been a long time.
Did Daisy love him?
She fell out of love. She did at one point, though. She doesn't hate him, that's for sure.
Right. You can see his eyes. He's trying to choke up the words through obviously swollen tissues. One of his eyes is shut now. You can see a tooth chipped, one missing. He's just, you can hear him kind of, you know, you can hear your name muffled, and why. And through the little bit of the one eye that you can see, the color is there, and it reminds you of when you fell in love with him, and you can see that little glint of the good side before. Your daughter still calls. What do you do?
I just kind of scowl at him after a moment, but I can't, I don't know, I can't bring myself to punch him again, so I just throw him back onto the mattress, and I'm gonna climb off of him and ignore whatever little girl that is. I don't want to deal with that right now. I want to get out of here. I'm gonna try to find a way away from this.
You're not looking at her.
No. Like, I'm making a point to not look at her.
Then I want you to roll. I want you to roll Keep It Together.
10.
If you don't look at her, I'm going to treat that 10 like a 9.
Okay.
If you want to keep your 10 and just lose 1 stability instead of 4, then that's what you need to do.
Wow. The player in me sees the obvious choice here, but the Daisy in me,
Oh, I want Daisy.
No, she's not. She's making it a definite point that it's in my head. Fuck this. I'm gonna find a way out. There's always a way out. If I don't look at it, it doesn't exist. It'll go away.
When you turn to walk, you see a door in the room. You walk towards the door, keeping an iron will to not look back, as you can hear her calling and the mommy getting more and more with a question mark at the end of it. Like, I don't understand why you're leaving this room and leaving me here after you've just killed Daddy. And then she starts to make those little choked, trying, like she's not gonna cry because you always said don't. But then they just come, and as you close this door behind you, that's the sound you hear. This terrified crying sound of your daughter. And then you hear a little chuckle, which almost gives you some comfort in the situation, because you know that there's something else behind it. And you awaken on your bed at home with a splitting headache, Your mouth tastes as if your dog went and took a shit in it overnight, and you feel that you have probably pissed and shit yourself, and you have a empty bottle of your favorite whiskey in your hand. Now you have some regrets.
Oof. All I can say is oof.
Yeah, that's all
and
right.
Take my negative force stability.
Yes. And wow. All right, I'm gonna go break Elliot. So I'll see you here in just a little bit. There's Elliot. I have been waiting for you, Elliot. We get to start with you. What is that? In media res. Is that the right term? In the midst of the action?
You said something in French to me. I don't know.
Something like that. I think it's Latin.
No. Well, I tried.
You were at Sabella's at the Blue Rose, if I remember correctly, was a location, and
Yep.
You and her were having a confrontation with who you thought was the old lady Hauser.
Mm-hmm.
And it turns out it was her. Well, some assemblage of her, right?
Yep.
Only different. And Sabella was trying to help you when your world went black.
Yeah, because
Am I missing any details?
I was being strangled.
Yeah.
Last I knew. So.
Yeah, you felt those nails digging in. I mean, she was not letting up, especially when Sabella started fucking with her. She gripped tighter and tighter.
Mm.
So, you're about to die. Elliot, when that moment happens in your head, when Elliot says, fuck, Elliot, you're about to die, and you believe it, who do you think of first?
This is gonna sound really shitty, but I always think of Sabella first.
Why do you think that sounds really shitty?
Because it should be, my mom or my, 4-year-old son, but it's not. It's her. And it always makes me feel like shit. So, because I know what I should be thinking about, but it's never what I should be. So.
I want you to make the first of probably what will be several keep it together rolls for me.
I have a -2 to that.
I know.
God damn it, I do.
Yeah. Oh no, you've played right into my palm.
Oh shit.
Your girl. A 7.
Not proud of it.
It is that thought and that conflict that is what's breaking you, Elliot. It is the thought that you first thought of Sabella and then immediately thought, I shouldn't be thinking of her first. I should be thinking of my son. What is the place that you remember as the best place for you and Oliver? Where did you guys go? Your favorite place? His favorite place? Your favorite place? The happiest place?
He absolutely adores the little park near the church. And I hate going there, but he absolutely loves it, so I indulge him.
He loved that place. Why did he love the place?
Because it's never full of kids, so he never has to fight anybody for any of the equipment that he wants. It's just full reign, all him. and it's small so it doesn't overwhelm him, and it's kind of nestled in the tree line, so if the wind is blowing, it doesn't really bug him too much. It always is kind of a nice little area, and the sun shines on it just right, so it's normally pretty warm, and it's just like this little cartoon, happy little place that he just finds so much solace in.
And why did you hate it?
I never like being that close to churches. I kind of feel like I'm gonna light on fire. But there's something just a little eerie about it because there's never really anybody there.
Right.
But he loves it so much that I try to just bury my head in something else to just forget about it.
And this is the church in Providence.
Mm-hmm.
How often did you go to the church, or to do that with Oliver?
Oh, at least once every 2 weeks, once a week if we can. It's nice outside.
On this particular day, because this is what happens to you in your throes. Maybe it's death. I don't know. It's the last words that you're thinking. Well, actually, no. When you stop thinking, it was Oliver that you thought about and guilt. And then you hear him,
right.
and then you hear him say, "Mama, look." And what was his favorite thing to do on that playground?
It was always the it's like they're the little rock horse things. They're like the spring, and they just go back and kind of forth and all around if you get creative. But I don't know. That was just always his favorite thing.
And he's like 9 now, right? Am I getting my ages right?
No, he's like 4.
Oh, he's 4.
Yeah.
Why do I don't know why.
Daisy's
Maybe I was thinking of some of Eleanor's cousins. He looks a little younger. Probably 3. You can kind of tell. There's the first bit of confusion is the way he said your name wasn't as developed as he says it now. And what did you say? It was a swing?
It's the little rocky, springy horse things.
The rocky, springy horse things. Yeah. And he is just going to town. Do you give him a real smile or a fake smile since you don't like being there?
It's like a weird mixture of both. Like half of it's real, but it doesn't quite reach the eyes. I'm ready to go home. I've got 10,000 other things to do.
Right. There's this just brief look of disappointment that flashes across his face as he suddenly gives his rock just a little extra oomph, right? And you see him go down and his face bashes on this horse, and he comes up and he looks at you, and you would swear that he was smiling. His teeth, the one that had just come through at that age, not the few that he has now, is broken. Obviously his mouth is full of blood, and he goes flying back off the horse with a scream. What do you do?
I mean, I'm off my ass the second he smacks his face in, and I'm running towards him.
Give me action pressure roll.
This one. It's a 13. It's okay.
Yeah, that's not too bad. You do kind of stumble, trip a little bit as you get over to him. And this is where the first keep it together roll comes in, because when you get over there and you look and he gives you this sort of smile again, It's discomforting is the first feeling, and then his eyes go milky, and he is not a living child.
Ooh,
With that same kind of busted, bloody teeth. And then he turns his head to you and says, "How you feeling now?" What do you do?
I mean, I promptly fall over on my ass because that's scary as all get out. And I was not prepared for a demon child to take the place of my child.
Did you make me a keep it together yet?
I did before. Do you want another one?
Oh, that was the 7?
That was that first one. Do you want another one?
No, I want the one for the first.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Wow. Since there could be several of these, I could just pull you through this, but that wasn't the point. So you know what a 7 means. So seeing this, right? You got here on the guilt of him. That sensation, that feeling has not gone away, even with the happiness of the location. He caught you in a moment where that was happening, that little twist in your mind where you're like, I don't want to be here, but I kind of got to be here. The same feeling, that same little tinge of guilt that you had when you thought of Sabella 1/100th of a second before you thought of him, hits you. And, that's a little bit too much at this particular moment in time. What does that do to Elliot? You tell me about your first event, and then I'll take over from there.
It's always weighted because the sad truth is that tinge of guilt is always there, because it seems like I would always rather be doing something else than hanging out with him.
Does it make you cry? Would it make Elliot cry?
It wouldn't even do that. It's more of like she would just kind of stare at him blankly and kind of remove herself, mentally from the situation, because she just is so used to living with this feeling on her chest all the time that she's learned to kind of just disassociate it. I don't like that eyebrow. The eyebrow bags are.
It's all right. Now you've challenged me. So, what do you feel then when you see this? There's the guilt that's still there. You obviously know something's up because you said you don't want this demon child. That's not going to take away from the sensations. So what are your thoughts then? Are your thoughts about escaping the situation in your own ass, or are you thinking of Oliver yet?
No, because I'm kind of now my mind is working 10,000 paces ahead of what my feet are doing, which is basically, I'm dead. This is great. I'm in hell. I deserve it. So I'm gonna peace out and say bye, because this is hell and this isn't real. So
right.
There's the moment of the realization across the face as I'm like, okay, well, this sucks, and I'm done with this shit.
You do the Daisy and you stand up and like, fuck this, peace out, turn around, make for whatever opening you see.
Yep. Hoping to find Satan himself probably at some point.
You hear a familiar voice as you start to walk away that sort of clouds your vision. You recognize it, only it's sort of deeper, more mature. But it's the sound of what your son would sound like if he were 19.
Ooh.
And he says, "Mom, where you going?" And Since you rolled the 9, I'm going to spin you around and not play the I'm not going to turn around and look thing that I've already played.
I would definitely turn around and look at that because there is that sort of, you know, goofy energy that Elliot always has. It's like, oh, that would be interesting. I wonder what that looks like. If I'm going to be dead anyways, I might as well have a look-see here.
Elliot, when you turn around, that pin in that one pantsuit that you own that you only wear to funerals sticks you in the hip, right? Because you got to pin these things because they don't fit perfectly. And so you get this one little spot that you pin them. It sticks you in the hip, and that's how you recognize that you're wearing your funeral suit. And he's looking at you, kind of standing up, and there's a funeral happening that you are walking away from. And there's a big picture of your mother over on the side, you know, in the frame with the flowers and shit hanging off of it. What do you do? Keep it together for me first, please.
God damn it. Well, I can already tell you this is not going to end well for me.
The name of it's called Elliot Falls Apart, so you know my goal.
Well, you just did it. You've now done it. I hope you're proud of yourself. We have just hit broken.
Oh, that was a 9.
Mm-hmm.
So, do this for me. You've played this game before. Tell us about your disposition and how you react. What do you do, Elliot?
It's very much a slow motion moment where I feel like my legs are moving at 0 mile an hour, and no matter how fast I try to walk or run or skip or hop or jump, whatever it is, it's not going to happen quickly. And I just start walking towards the casket past, you know, the 19-year-old Oliver. I just need to see the face of my mother laying in that casket. And when I get there, it just crumple into a ball, crying, screaming, looking for something, trying to grab that pin that keeps stabbing me in the fucking hip so I can take it out and just jab it into myself because that's what I deserve.
You don't get quite that far. The emotions start to take you. You start thinking about doing that. You can have all of that. But I need you, when you look at your mom in the face, as it is an open casket, although when you look at it, you ask yourself, why are they doing an open casket? Because you don't know how she died, but it mustn't have been pleasant. And there's no makeup job. When you get to her, it looks just like Oliver's face did. Like he smashed it on some playground equipment. And I need you to roll plus soul. Did I already tell you that?
No.
I wasn't finished with my gore.
Okay, I get one of those. Wait, do I? Shit.
It's
do I get a modifier on that
see
one
through
now?
the illusion on soul? I don't know.
Well, now that I'm at busted.
I don't think it makes a difference on that.
We'll just go for it.
My roll 20 navigation has not been so great here. No, I'll check for you.
Well, it doesn't really matter either way because it's 19
or
16.
Right, and I still have my move to make too. I forgot about that.
Yeah, you got one of those.
No, you only you actually get a +1 at unhinged on see through the illusion. So I'll actually give you the +2 since you're broken. I'll give you an extra one.
Oh, well, I would have made it an 18.
Yeah. She asks you a question when you look at her and you take in that horror of a face. And she just looks at you. Her eyes pop open. And she looks at you, except when she talks, you can see that they had sewn her mouth shut. So when she talks, her lips kind of don't open up all the way because they're sewn shut. How long are you going to keep acting like this, Elle? You're going to have to grow up. You know that, right?
Whoa,
You know that, right?
What the hell are you talking about? Grow up how? Grow up.
You're going to
What?
have to admit what you've done. You're going to have to take responsibility for it. Oh, Elle. You've got such a long ways to go. And she goes back to the same position that you saw her, except you can see this little trickle of a tear start
Oh.
falling down the side of her face. What do you want to do right now, Elliot?
I want to just completely get away from all of it, but also stab my leg probably as hard as fucking possible.
So in your bloodlust, where would you go? Where's the place that you do that?
Generally in a bathroom by myself in our house.
When you look around to see where you're at to find a place to go and do that, trigger warnings for our audience members. You, yellow subject, Adam does such a good job at it. You see that this is at your house as if it was in your backyard. This was an outdoor event. Or however you pictured it. It was pictured outdoor in my head, but I don't think I ever made that crystal clear. So you find the bathroom wherever you are. When you look and you want that bathroom because that was the most comfortable place for you, you see it. You look, oh, there's the hall. Oh, third door on the right. It's the bathroom. And you make for it, right? Or do you not?
Yeah. No, I bolt into that bitch, slam the door behind me, close it.
You slam the door behind you, and it is not the bathroom. It is a large, dark, cold, dungeony looking sort of room. You can hear the tink of chains as if they were hanging and kind of stirring around in the breeze. And you hear this woman's voice. It sounds just like Sabella. Oh, I see you've decided to come hurt yourself. I can help you with that. I want you to make one more. Keep it together for me, please.
Into 7.
Yes. You are ready for this pain. You want it. You need it. You needed it. After Oliver, you were stolen from it when you were thrust in death or whatever this is that you've decided at your mother's funeral, and now you want it more. Sabella comes, and it is almost exciting when you see her because you know that she is dressed to give it. And you feel your arms lifted above your head, already strapped with a leather and linked to a chain. And you can kind of feel yourself, your tippy toes, which, by the way, are bare. Your shoes are gone. Sort of leave the cold, wet floor, and you feel a breeze across your body as the pin from the pantsuit's no longer bothering you.
Mm-hmm.
And when Sabella walks up to you in that way that you've always wanted her to, and she takes this leather-wrapped stick or something that's hard. There's not a whip on the end of it. It's just black, but you can see the straps. It looks kind of like a magic wand, only strapped in some sort of leather. And she sort of just guides it down the side of your face. I'm going to make you so happy. and then the pain starts. Take over from there as to exactly what kind of pain it is, but it is terrible and wonderful at the same time for you. For some strange reason, Sabella, Elliot. So let me ask you this. This is to keep up with the keep it togethers and all of that. You are broken. You've diminished. All of your stability is gone. So you have no control. And this happens to you and you enjoy it. And that's my move. So you're finished. My final question is, tell us about Elliot's thoughts regarding the pain and the pleasure of it. Were you expecting to be turned on by it? Did you ever think that you would want to be hurt so bad and then see that the deliverer of the pain was this person and decide that that would be a good thing? Or does it disgust you?
It's kind of a dual-edged sword, because there's one thing that I've always wanted from Sabella, and I'm getting a slight taste of that right now. And there's that part of it in her brain that's more of the innocent kind, not, seeing her in this sort of way, that's just happy that she's here in the weird, fucked up way that it is, that she's here in this moment that I need her, and she always seems to be there when I need her. And then there's the part of the pain, which is another thing that's really fucked up, that I find comfort in it. And I find comfort in the fact that it's something I have control over, and it makes me feel like a little less guilty for everything that I fuck up, and I fuck up a lot. And it's like I'm getting what I deserve, but yet also getting the sweetest piece of cake along with your biggest helping of undeserving bullshit.
Yeah, that's sort of kind of how the experience goes. She does the things that you didn't know you wanted her to do until there is guilt and pleasure and so many conflicting emotions that you are a swirl of a heaping mess of it all. But when you do finally make yourself say stop, she stops and lets you down. And there's a place in there that you can lie down if you choose, or it seems to be open to leave. But the last thing that she whispers to you before you, we'll say, go out, you're broken. You're going to crash on that thing right there. Because you took a lot. It went for a while. You were ready for it. And she lies you down and says, now there, see? Don't you feel so much better now? And that's where we're going to end that for you. We went a little late tonight. You want to say something?
No, we're good.
Did you fall apart? Did I win?
Yeah, you win.
Very good. Oh, well, I don't have my canned speech here. It's been a crazy day. It's been a crazy week. So thank you all out there. I know that my cast thanks you. Thank you, Eleanor and Chris and Jaylee. I know you're not. I'm getting my names all mixed up now. I wanted to go character, and then I went half and half. Elliot, Daisy, Roy, all you motherfuckers. I love every one of you. Thank you for coming and doing this with me. Thank you out there for watching. I appreciate it all. Yeah, thanks, Home Guest, for a great game. And go to ttrptheater.com if you want to learn more about us. It's under construction and all that happy horse shit. Follow us on YouTube, likes, everything else. Be kind to each other. Save all that other crap for your cold game. Good night. Sweet dreams. We love you.